obviously the main reason we're here today, Swieqi United Futsal Club. It's been a bit of a roller coaster this last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's the current state of the club? Because obviously we're seeing players putting out messages. We've seen you, Joseph, put out messages about the stoppage of Swieqi Futsal.
The club is continuing, but ultimately the club made a choice that the funds are to be redirected elsewhere.
Now, to the people obviously at home, Swieqi Futsal, we would say they're second best futsal team in the country. Have been for how many years?
For the last, so I've been coaching 5 years. With Swieqi I've been 4, and with Swieqi we've played 3 finals.
So for the last 3-4 years, they've been one of the top teams in the country, synonymous with the top end of the table.
And last year, I can't remember if there was other teams, so I'll speak only with with me and Swieqi. We've managed to reach a level where I think it was the closest out of the 4 that it was, even in a matter of results against obviously the reigning champions.
Yeah.
So,
and it's funny the timing, because obviously we've hit a period where, let's say for 5 or 6 years, there's maybe 2 teams competing for the top. And then we've gotten to a stage where we had the arrival of Zurich, we had the arrival of University. There was a good 4 teams battling it out in a very hotly contested league for 2 years.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden the switching plan?
The switching plan is, I think that it can never be allocated to one factor. So you got the funds and prioritizing the club, prioritizing where the funds are going to go, if it's going to go to here or here. It's painful because after a year you'd want the club to capitalize on that. And I think that's the biggest pain, one of the pain points that...
It almost looks like you've taken 5 steps forward, but then had your legs cut out from underneath you.
But this also shows a number of issues where in the past, a university competing to a level, suddenly dropping down a bit, so there for 2 years and then not there anymore. So these are pain points which all clubs are going through. And there are some questions that need to be asked, questions more related to the rules, the competition, how attractive is the league. Because if you have investors who have been there and giving up, or let's not use giving up, choosing to reallocate the funds because they seem to be more worth it on another side. And new investors coming in and saying, well, is it really worth the hassle? What's the return on investment?
It's not that attractive as an investment when you see so many people investing and pulling money out within 2 to 3 years.
Keep in mind, Danny, people want a fair competition.
Okay.
If I'm coming in, and I know I cannot, if I want to be competing against Luxor today as a new club, you need to spend triple. Because you need to attract, you need to create reliability, you need to create a momentum, and to create it in year 1, you need to seriously spend some money.
Well, what was it? The first year that I joined, you saw it was Xira and Santa Venera.
Yes.
They're getting beaten by everyone in the 20s.
Stupid numbers.
Within, 5-6 weeks, Santa Venera had pulled out.
No, it's a shame, and I remember we had meetings with the federation about this. Screen the applicants.
Yes.
What are they into? How many players do they have? Do they have a setup? How many training sessions are they gonna do? Get a feel. You realize how serious a team is. If you want to build, to start, my opinion and my suggestion to any new club, start small. Start small in the sense, get under 19s, under 23s. Work on that.
Recruit
the first
smart.
year, maybe 2, you're building a nucleus.
Yeah.
Then, if you have the investment, year 3, year 4, year 5 is where you're going to put a little bit more money in, where you're going to start competing a little bit more. Obviously, the rules, the federation has given passports to the foreigners. So you can never penalize someone like Luxor who have invested in futsal for 10 years straight. Good job to them. I mean, they're stuck through thick and thin.
Yeah.
But the element of me as a new investor coming in, I need to feel like I've got a chance, even if it's an illusion.
An outsider's chance, yeah.
I've got a chance. If I work smart and I put 2-3 years worth of work, I can
reenact Moneyball, the film.
Yeah.
You get your undiscovered gems.
But you need to, with a limited budget, you need to be smarter.
There has to be a sense of belief that you're going to compete.
And at the moment, that isn't there. That is not given. And the rules, the regulations seem to be done in retrospective for what was done on one side, but we're losing all on the other side.
Yeah.
That's a problem. How can you have a competitive league? How can you grow? How can you attract the locals? How can you attract the foreigners?
Yeah.
How, if you start detaching and losing this because the rules are currently catering here, and maybe 1.5 teams fall into this bracket. Swieqi was verging on here, but now we're back to square one.
Yeah.
Or back to nowhere. And this is very, very important when you need to create an attractive league so people want to invest because they could aspire, they feel the challenge. And if there's the possibility, it's always going to be hard trying to beat a team that's invested for 10 years. Always.
Yeah. But you need to know that you've got a pathway to get to that point.
There's a pathway, fantastic. Do I have a possibility? Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time, yes, but you have to give the pathway of hope. Today, speaking to many potential investors, there's a number of them which already give up just because of that.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Again, not to penalize a team, but the FA needs to find solutions to motivate and give that aspect of there's a serious competition.
Because there's been a little bit of, let's say, discussion between the clubs and the federation because of certain rules that have been put into place in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 seasons that tend to favour one side of the league and leave the other side of the league a little bit lost in the shuffle.
That's why I say, for example, our last proposal was all about we're struggling to bring in new Maltese players.
Yeah.
And the new Maltese, although the MFA is pushing on the under 19s and 17s, there's 3 or 4 players only staying there. And it's okay because some have seen their development grow and suddenly they are more confident tactically and even technically, and they go 11 aside and they're doing well. Great. But the lack of facilities does not allow us to have a league, an under 19s league and an under 17s. That's a problem.
Yeah.
The situation where we had people lobbying for more foreigners, and then because the passports came in, then we don't need the foreigners, but then we forget the Maltese. So the regulations have shifted